bring it on.
Kamala Harris. Does she have what is required to beat Donald Trump?
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here.
I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
Former Attorney General of California, a former U.S. Senator, the current Vice President, and the last-minute Democratic Party's presidential candidate after Joe Biden's disastrous debate. On one side, there's Donald Trump, a figure who has dominated the political landscape for years.
Don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Imagine the stage for one of the most intense political showdowns in U.S. history. If Kamala wins, she wouldn't just be another president. She would be the first woman, the first black woman, and the first South Asian American to hold the highest office in the America. So, how has Kamala Harris changed the dynamics of the race? What are the major issues in her campaign? And what are her chances of winning the election on November 5th? This election has already been a roller coaster. One candidate is convicted of a felony, a presidential debate turned into a chaos, an assassination attempt, and in a shocking turn of events, the sitting president dropped out of the race. But with Kamala Harris stepping in for Joe Biden, the game has changed. Within just 36 hours of Biden endorsing Harris, donations started flooding in, a clear sign that people were rallying behind her. It was as if a fresh wave of energy had swept through the campaign. There's a lot of excitement around Harris, but polls show the race is going to be super tight. For the Democrats, the biggest challenge is whether they can turn that excitement into enough votes in the right states. Because we can't ignore the fact that winning a U.S. presidential election isn't just about getting the most votes overall. It's about winning something called the Electoral College. Each state has a certain number of electoral votes, and the results in each state determine how many of those votes go to each candidate. To win, a candidate needs 270 electoral votes. Some states almost always vote Republican, so-called red states, while others almost always vote Democrats, called blue states. Then, there are a few states that could go either way, and these are the ones that both parties will focus on because they are crucial to reaching the 270 votes needed to win. In this election, there are 7 of these key states.
Throw the national polls out the window. They don't matter at all. What matters are those swing states.
We've got some work to do, but we're not afraid of hard work. We like hard work, don't we? And we will win this election.
So how could she do it? Well, there are 5 crucial things that are helping her campaign. Let's start with age. One big problem the 81-year-old Joe Biden couldn't get rid of was his age, but Kamala Harris is 59, which turns a weakness for the Democrats into their strength. Now, Donald Trump, who is 78, is the older guy in this race, so one of the Republicans' main criticisms doesn't really matter anymore.
If Joe Biden is not fit to charge, they're not going to charge him with a crime, but it's okay for him to become commander-in-chief.
It is clearly evident that Kamala Harris has become popular among many young people, who are an important group of voters. A pop star named Charli XCX labeled her a brat, which is also the name of Charli's latest album. The term brat is becoming a popular meme among Gen Z, representing being a bit wild and being yourself. This energy seems to be making a real impact. After Harris announced her run for office, there was a noticeable increase in voter registrations, with over 80% of the new voters being between 18 and 34 years old. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign is also working to attract young voters, and Trump's choice for vice president is actually younger than Harris. Another important factor is the woman factor. Women voters are an important demographic for any candidate, especially in crucial swing states where the voters can make a big difference. Having said that, Donald Trump already won against a woman, Hillary Clinton, in the 2016 presidential election. Many women support Trump, but some things have changed since then. For example, Trump was found guilty of sexual abuse in a civil trial. Another important issue is reproductive rights. Many voters, especially women, are concerned about access to abortion. Kamala Harris has been a strong advocate for this issue on the Democratic side.
The right of every woman in every state in this country to make decisions about her own body is on the line. And I've said it before and I will say it again. How dare they?
In 2022, the Supreme Court overturned a major case, Roe v. Wade, which had protected the right to abortion. Many Republican politicians had been working towards this for years. The decision was influenced by judges Trump appointed when he was president, leading to abortion bans in several Republican-led states. Next, let's talk about how race might play a role in this election. Kamala Harris has a mixed background. Her parents were immigrants. Her mother came from India, and her father is Jamaican. It's not easy to say how her background might influence voters. Some Republicans have pointed it out. Even Donald Trump questioned Harris's racial identity during a conference with black journalists.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Another area where Kamala appears to be stronger than Biden in her ability to take on Trump directly, especially because she's a former prosecutor going up against someone who has been convicted of crimes.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
As we get closer to November, people are discussing several big topics. But there's another important issue Kamala Harris will need to deal with: whether the U.S. is ready for a woman to be president. This question doesn't have a simple answer. People asked this question when Hillary Clinton lost to Trump, but that was 8 years ago, and things have changed since then. For that, you can watch our next Vid 0 in the list, Why U.S. Never Had a Female President.